Coming up, we get in the ring with Cherokee citizen and mixed martial arts fighter Jaymee Ambush Jones and learn what it takes to be the ultimate tough girl.
I like being a girl in this sport because it's rare.
And award-winning artist Jane Osti shows us how she turns mud into a masterpiece.
I dig native clay because I want to know how to do it, and I don't want that knowledge to ever go away.
What her pottery tells us about Cherokee history, and respecting the words of our elders. Why this 83-year-old never learned to speak fluent English and his message for younger generations.
The Cherokees.
A thriving American Indian tribe.
Our history.
Our culture. Our people.
Our future.
The principles of a historic nation.
Sewn into the fabric of a modern world.
Hundreds of thousands strong. Learning, growing,
succeeding,
and steadfast.
In the past, we have persevered through struggle. But the future is ours to write.
Osiyo.
Osiyo. Osiyo.
These are the voices of the Cherokee people.
I'm Principal Chief Bill John Baker. Osiyo, and welcome to the Cherokee Nation. We're so proud to share our stories with you. Wado.
Osiyo, it's how we say hello in Cherokee. This spring was one of the rainiest on record here in the Cherokee Nation. The Illinois River is unusually high, and the landscape here is more lush than it's been in years, which makes it a great time to visit the Cherokee Nation, and we'll tell you how to do that later in the show. But first, let's kick things off with Jaymee Ambush Jones, a Cherokee Nation citizen and mixed martial arts fighter who takes girl power to a whole new level.
It's anxiety, it's excitement, it's a little bit of nerves. It's like riding a roller coaster. You get that pit in your stomach. That's what the edge is. And to me, that's like the best feeling ever. My name is Jaymee Ambush Jones, and I'm a professional Cherokee MMA fighter. I like being a girl in this sport because it's rare. It's becoming more and more common, don't get me wrong, more mainstream, but when people come in there, I don't know how many times I've heard people say the women's fights are so much more exciting than the men's fight. Not because they know more or they do more, but because it's women, In the past, you would hear cat fight. When women fight, it's a cat fight. It's not like that now. You go in the ring, you see just as much technique, maybe not as much power, but pound for pound, the power that a man has, and you see just as much hard work and effort. And I try not to let it, oh, you're a girl doing this, no, I'm a fighter doing this. I just happen to be a girl. MMA fighting is a lot of things. It combines every type of martial arts. To me, it's the discipline and the determination, the learning curve with putting everything together into one and making it work. I was the only girl in a house full of boys. My dad, they wrestled, they boxed, they did different things, and so back then I was the willing or unwilling participant, the practice dummy. It all started at home with my dad and my brother.
She's actually trained with me for about 1.5 years now, at which time she's excelled very well. She is an extremely hard worker, very dedicated student, very much a team player, always there to help out with other students. We feel that it's very important for women to be able to defend themselves. One of Jaymee's main training partners is a high-level purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a young lady named Kim Blake, whose son many of you may know as Randy Blake, world kickboxing champion Randy Blake. She came in already, with a lot of knowledge, but she came in with the humble attitude that she wanted to improve, and she wanted to work on her foundation, work on her basics, which is the reason that we're here and the reason that she's here. It can be very taxing, on you, your body, your health, but your family as well. They're along for this ride with you. My husband is Kewan Jones. He played football at Jinx
and OU, University of Oklahoma. He was a star running back, and he is now part of my strength and conditioning, which he rather enjoys. It makes it a lot easier to have that support. You go from, you know, in between fight camps to where, you know, you train every day. And then when you start that fight camp, it's mental preparation. Your body is only as tired as your mind is. And so as bad as I'm feeling and all that, I would rather not have that show on fight night. So that's why I go as hard as I do. Oh, being Cherokee is one of my main sources of pride. I mean, growing up in the capital of Cherokee Nation, I want to carry that tradition and let people know where I came from. I got that fighter mentality because of our heritage. If you go to my fight, I wish you'd catch a scan of my mom, because I give her the best seat in the house and she'll watch every fight, and she's in the lobby during my fight or in the bathroom, you know? And so when my son wrestles or my girls are in here and they're going against each other, I know exactly what she's feeling when I see them and the stuff that they do. I'm even getting cracky voice right now. It's just, it's amazing, honestly. And I come here every day. They're so understanding of the time I spend away from them. And that's why I make the most out of what I do. You know, when you see me punch the bag here, when I'm punching, that's what I'm thinking of. You know, I could be home with my kids, I could be here. The fact that I'm not is the reason why I'm not gonna quit.
A new report shows the Cherokee Nation now has a $1.5 billion impact on the state of Oklahoma, making it one of the state's largest economic drivers.
Dr. Russell Evans, an economist from Oklahoma City University, presented the findings of a new economic impact report to hundreds of guests at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa. The report showed the tribe's economic impact is up nearly 50% since 2011.
The economy is bright for the Cherokee Nation. We're growing strong, but more importantly, we're taking those dollars and partnering with education and housing and health care to make the lives of Cherokees better and to make the entire region of northeastern Oklahoma more vibrant.
Cherokee Nation Businesses is the economic engine for the Cherokee Nation and employed more than 10,000 people in 2014. C&B's operations and activities are valued at $1.2 billion.
Our employees are just getting better and better and better at what we're doing, and we look forward to continued success.
Cherokee Nation Businesses generated record revenues in 2014 with $829 million. While the Cherokee Nation is excited about our future, we also want to honor our past and the elders who made our tribe what it is today. Mack Vann is one of those elders. At 83 years old, he never learned to speak English fluently and has a cautionary message for younger generations.
Mack only speaks Cherokee, and he's probably just a handful. One other person that I know is his sister, 90 years old. I've learned from them. I grew up speaking the language. That's my first language, and everywhere I went to my grandma's house or great-grandma or to the neighbors, that's all we spoke is Cherokee. And then as I grew up, I could see that our language is, basically less spoken. And I noticed the trend of the kids not speaking, probably around 1990s. That's when really our elders were dying out, and the language was going with them.
That's something else. It's like the only. I don't know that's there's a dot not on ni on there. The guy tan the on there that's a lot good. Called the Haskin Gus.
As a teacher and trying to preserve the language, that's hard to swallow, because that's my language. That's our culture. Everything that we do is based on culture. Once the language is gone, who are we? If we lose our language, what are we? Our people knew that if we didn't teach our language, that we'll be in this state. Our elders knew that. Mack's living by himself here, no family hardly around, and that's typical in our communities now. It's just those small families that get together. There's not big gatherings like we used to do when I was growing up. He tries to keep that alive by having hog fries, inviting everybody in the community to come here and to socialize. That's what he said. He likes to talk to the people in Cherokee, and that's what he does. And he's at the age, 86 years old. That's got to be something to be able to speak the language with few people.
I took it, it's good on go. To die, you know, something. You got neither. Neither can't go on it on down there, and
I saw the younger ones were not speaking it. And that's where we realized, we gathered kids and started teaching the kids, and we started the immersion school. And it's never too late to start teaching the language. So that's what we're trying to do right now. There's a lot of ways that we can learn nowadays, and people are learning. 100 years from now, somebody will be speaking the Cherokee language. One example that I have is there's a kid, 13 years old, started trying to learn the language, our language, Cherokee language, lives in Chicago. Nobody around him speaks the Cherokee language. And now he's 23 years old, and he helps us translate. And he learned the language just as good as I can now. He learned by the Cherokee language program that we have online classes. He started with that. Then once he went further, started reading old newspapers, started reading our newspaper that we published, that's in Cherokee and English. And he started Skyping with us. He'd call at the office and we'd talk to him for 2-3 hours. I think we need to listen to him. We can do something about it. As the younger generation, we can start teaching the language, teach the culture. He's got a point. If we don't do nothing about it, we're going to lose it. And that's why I think Cherokee Nation has really stepped forward in trying to teach the language and our culture to our people. And that's a good thing. We need that.
To learn more about our language programs, including online courses, go to Osio.tv and click on links mentioned. 2 years ago, the Cherokee Nation put $100 million toward the expansion of its healthcare system. With the opening of 2 new healthcare facilities in Oshaleta and Sallisaw, the tribe is now offering more treatment options for more patients.
The new Redbird Smith Healthcare Center in Sallisaw is twice as big as it was with this new 30,000 square foot annex. The $10.7 million expansion adds a radiology department and lab, pediatrics, more outpatient space, an optometry unit, a pharmacy with a drive-through, and a community safe room. The center is expected to serve up to 145,000 patient visits this year.
New services that have never been offered here are mammography, which we're very excited to have, then also We have physical therapy, which we haven't been able to offer. Our citizens have had to travel to Muskogee, Tahlequah, Stillwell, so it's a real blessing for our citizens to be able to have these.
The brand new Keweenskowe Healthcare Center in Oshaleta cost $10 million to complete and is 5 times larger than the existing Bartlesville Health Center that it replaces. Like the Redbird Smith Health Center, the facility offers many new services, including dentistry. More Cherokee Nation healthcare facilities are set to open later this summer.
Mary Golda Ross is known as the Cherokee rocket scientist, an aerospace engineer, and the first Native American female engineer who helped put a man on the moon. Ross was born in Park Hill, Oklahoma on July 9, 1908, and grew up in Tahlequah, the Cherokee Nation's capital. She was the great-granddaughter of renowned Cherokee chief John Ross, and at a young age developed a special interest in math and science. She graduated from Northeastern State Teachers College, now Northeastern State University in Tahlequah, and taught math and science in public schools. Ross herself returned to school to study astronomy, and in 1942 was hired by Lockheed Aircraft Corporation in California. Her work as a mathematician there helped create engineering designs for fighter jets, missile systems, satellites, and rockets, and helped launch the famous space race. In the 1960s, Ross became part of a top-secret team of engineers at Lockheed who created theories for space travel. She was one of the authors of a NASA Planetary Flight Handbook about space travel to Mars and Venus. After retiring from Lockheed in 1973, Ross became a staunch advocate for engineering and math opportunities for Native Americans and women. In her final years, she became a strong supporter of the Smithsonian's National Museum of the American Indian in Washington, D.C., and attended its grand opening at age 96. Mary Golda Ross passed away in 2008, just 3 months shy of her 100th birthday.
Cherokee Nation Principal Chief Bill John Baker and Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin signed a historic agreement on fishing and hunting rights for Cherokee citizens. The new compact acknowledges Cherokee Nation citizens' right to fish and hunt freely across all 77 counties in Oklahoma, not just Cherokee tribal lands. Professional bass angler and Cherokee citizen Jason Christie applauded the agreement and said hunting and fishing are positive pastimes for kids who will be able to hunt and fish like our ancestors without possible interference from state wildlife officers.
That may keep them doing positive things, which is hunting and fishing, and maybe keep some kids out of trouble. You know, I think if we benefit just a few kids, this makes it a positive thing. And
all Cherokees 16 and older will automatically receive the license plus 1 turkey tag and 1 deer tag. The licenses will be distributed starting January 1st, 2016.
Jalagi Iniwoni Hi. Let's talk Cherokee. First phrase in English. Which way should I go? Hatla iditla yiwagilosi. Which way should I go? Hatla iditla yiwagilosi. North. Uhyadla. North. Uhyadla. East. Dikalaga. East. Dikalaga. South. Ugontnawui. South. Ugontnawui. West. Wudeliga. West. Wudeliga.
The Cherokee Nation awarded more than 100 volunteer and rural fire departments with checks totaling nearly $500,000.
129 fire departments received checks for $3,500 each to spend on equipment and fuel. The Catoosa Fire Department is one of them. In past years, the department has spent the money on life-saving equipment like ladder kits and specialized hoses.
When a guy goes up, he'll have an air pack on, and you'll drape that over the back of his air pack.
Ours mostly goes for purchasing additional equipment and keeping upkeep on equipment we do have, it's kind of getting up in the years, and keeping it up is kind of a full-time job.
The donations are a much-needed boost for rural fire departments, which rely heavily on donations, fundraisers, and membership drives to keep their stations operating.
Jane Osti is an award-winning artist, making pottery the same way our ancestors did. Her work is sought after by collectors across the country, but as she tells us, it's an ancient art form that might not have survived Oklahoma's Indian Territory if not for one woman, her mentor.
I've been told that clay is the most plentiful resource on earth, and in my mind I think of it as that substance that's holding the earth together, our Mother Earth. I dig native clay because I want to know how to do it, and I don't want that knowledge to ever go away. I want to teach others how to do it. I'm Jane Osti, I'm Cherokee. I've been making pottery for about 30 years. I had to take a class at Northeastern when I was finishing my fine arts degree, and it was sculpture and pottery. But I didn't want to take the class, but I had to complete the degree. And I've been doing it and loving it ever since. I was very inspired by the teacher I had at Northeastern, and I met Anna Six-Killer Mitchell at the same time. Well, I believe we met in '87, and I had an assignment to interview an elder or an artist, and I chose her because I was just starting to do pottery. And Anna inspired me, and she became my lifelong friend and inspiration for doing Cherokee pottery. She taught a lot of people. I maybe bugged her more than any of the rest of them. When she started making pottery, nobody else was doing it that we knew of, or that anybody knew of, and she taught herself. In 1989, they recognized the first Cherokee National Treasures, and it was all men except her. I got it in 2005. It felt really good to be following in her footsteps. I think pottery was one of our greatest historians. You know, it can tell us about where we lived, when we lived there, and what we ate, what our ceremonies were. I know the oral tradition's wonderful, but the pottery, you know, with scientific testing and all that, it can really tell us the story of our people in those pots. You know, the many different shapes and types tell us there was a pot with a neck. It was used for holding liquids. You got a big open pot that was used for cooking probably. And it's maybe just been the last little over 10 years with internet and people that we've met in the East that we've found out some things are specifically Cherokee. Lately, I try mostly to stick to things that I have been told at least are Cherokee, especially in the old paddle stamping. For the paddle stamped pottery, it started with making a flat piece first and fitting it over another item. And a long time ago, they probably used a nice round gourd to get this going. But paddle stamping achieved several things. It wasn't done just for fun. Usually the pots that were paddle stamped were cooking pots. But this served several purposes. You had that texture you needed. You needed this to be able to pick the pot up without dropping it so easily. It also conducted heat better than a slick bottom. But after your needs are met, then you want beauty in your life. So aesthetically, pretty soon we had symbols that made things more beautiful. This one is a variation on the friendship design. I like making the old pots. I think maybe to honor our ancestors. The pottery that I make, no matter how contemporary it gets, its foundation, what it's based on, will always have that connection to what is Cherokee. I've been teaching for almost, well, about 20 years or longer. But now I have a granddaughter. I think my granddaughter is probably going to be the one that will keep doing it. Lily is the only one in my family that has done pottery and kept doing it. I think she's going to keep doing it. This is the first time I'm going to have Lily help me learn how to do an outdoor firing. She's watched before, but today she's going to work on it. This is the next phase for her to learn how to do a traditional firing. So this year, we applied for her to go to Santa Fe Indian Market with me. At 14, she got into the market. I'm really happy for her because she likes it and she's really good at it. But I'm happy to see at least one of my children or grandchildren do it. I'm really proud of her. It's a beautiful day for clay digging. I like this part of the process. You know, it teaches us what our ancestors did. Anna was still digging clay when she was 80. That means I got 10 more years to go.
From the coast of Nova Scotia to San Francisco Bay, from the Amazonian rainforest to the land of the midnight sun. Stand tall, my brothers, we are one. We are one in the sun, and our time has come. We've been baptized by the fire, through the mud, blood, and the mire. We are children of the fire, we are one. I got dealt a losing hand. I lost my name, then I lost my land. Now I'm not about to let that get me down, 'cause there'll be another day, and I'll find another way. Stand tall, my brothers, 'cause we are one. We are one in the sun, and our time has come. We've been baptized by the fire, through the mud, blood, and the mire. We are children of the fire, we are one. We are one in the sun, and our time has come. We've been baptized by the fire, through the mud, blood, and the mire. Hang on to your desire, we are one. Oh, we are one. Yes, we are number one. Oh, yeah.
Next time on Osiyo, Voices of the Cherokee People. It's more than just a bike ride. We go back to our Cherokee homelands and retrace the Trail of Tears with Cherokee citizens, conquering their fears and connecting with the saddest moments in Cherokee history.
That's it for today's show. We hope you'll join us every week for Osiyo, Voices of the Cherokee People. But remember, you can always watch our show online and share your favorite stories at Osiyo.tv. There is no Cherokee word for goodbye because we know we'll see you again. So until next time, Wado.
If you'd like to visit the Cherokee Nation or for more information on Cherokee Nation attractions, go to visitcherokenation.com.